Here we say in Europe or in Spain also that we will confront a huge economic crisis that is coming now. And what we need is a lot of trust. So if I speak more from the side of the CEOs, of top management, it's not only trust in the organization, it's also trust about yourself, yeah? That there is much more than you think inside of you. And that means that to bring this out, you need to be challenged.
Welcome to another episode of peopleHum interview series. I'm your host Neha Murthy, and let's begin with a quick introduction of peopleHum. peopleHum is an end-to-end, one-view integrated human capital automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Cody Award for HCM that is specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and video channel, which receives upwards of 200,000 visitors a year and publishes around 2 interviews with well-known names globally every month. And now for our guest. Daniel Pascual is the co-founder of Marshall Goldsmith Stakeholder Centered Coaching in Spain and CEO of Vistas in Barcelona. He has been an advisor, strategy facilitator, leadership and talent developer, executive and business coach, working globally with top CEOs and their C-suite executives, business owners, and top high performers in the major global companies. We are extremely happy and honored to have him on our interview series today. Welcome, Daniel. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
It's our pleasure too. So the first question I had for you was, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, you have sat on international boards and you still continue to. So who do you admire and take inspiration from?
Yes, well, let's say my career started 20 years ago, yeah, when I started working for a big company called BASF, chemical company, where I saw for, let's say, 10 years, business globally, around the world, yeah, selling chemical products, developing customer relationships and things like this. And then after 10 years, I moved to the consulting business, where I was a kind of, let's say, business development director, moving to different countries, also to develop the offices, but also this kind of projects and customer relationships, yeah. And during all this period, I was also involved in the development of boards. So since very soon, I started to see what was working, what was not working, how boards developed during all these years into, let's say now, a kind of high-performing team. Yeah, so we don't have anymore a group of people or a bunch of people coming together, sharing information and moving on. Now we have really teams that really perform on a high level, and you need this kind of things because markets are not easy, are not, let's say, predictable anymore, and you need this kind of top performing teams. So this is where I'm coming from. All my experience is really developing through coaching, mentoring, also consulting, this kind of boards. At the end, in 2017, I joined Vistage, which is for me the top leading organization for CEOs and entrepreneurs also, where we create this kind of boards, this kind of advisory boards, really small groups, but really high-performing teams also. And in this way, what I learned there, and also what inspires me, yeah, in the way of how people really needs to be challenged, yeah. The point is that we don't have people coming with a lot of expertise, sharing their know-how and leaving. It's more than, this is just the beginning of all. You need to develop this. And this is just, or this can be only developed through method-based of challenging, trusting, going deep into topics that people don't like to talk about or they don't know about it. And with tools of coaching, with tools of mentoring, yeah, with creative discussions, you can achieve that. You can achieve these kinds of top performing boards. So therefore, for me, let's say what inspires me at the end is the people with whom I work with. Yeah. So the executives, the CEOs, all these people, rather than people that write books or are, let's say, top management gurus that you can say, yeah, they inspire you because of their knowledge and insights and so on. This is fine for me. This is also a little of inspiration, yeah, of knowledge inspiration. But let's say if you see CEOs struggling with problems, struggling with situations that they're, let's say, really uncomfortable with, and they move on, how they really dig deep into them, get the energy and the resources out of them, and then they move on, I think a better inspiration you cannot find. Yeah, anyway. So for me, this is the way of being really human, being humble, identifying this kind of things that we have around us and find inspiration there, because everybody can inspire you at the end. It's just if they're honest, they're open, they trust on you, and they show commitment. I think there's nothing more powerful than this. That for me, it's connection. I connect really easily with this kind of let's say, profiles, yeah. And therefore, for me, inspiration is my clients, the people that I work for, or the people that I deal in my daily business, yeah. That they're incredible. So in this way, I can't give you a name or a person. For me, it's like everybody has something inspirational, yeah. And this is also something that we need to. This is something I was thinking before the interview when you were asking me also about inspiration, things like this. And it's like the crisis showed us to stay calm for a moment and to pay attention to things that we were not, let's say, paying attention during all this time. We're in such a dynamic of running, of doing things in such a speed that we're losing contact, yeah, and connection with many things. And now during this lockdown, for the first time, I was checking all my, let's say, my community, my connections, and I saw many people that they are doing fantastic things during this crisis, yeah, and I was astonished, and I feel also inspired by this. And say, my God, if I would be in this situation, I would never react like this guy, with the power, with the energy, with the commitment of doing things, yeah. So it's there, yeah, but you must be open. You must be, you must have the feeling of connecting with the things. If not, you will not see it. So therefore, inspiration is everywhere, yeah. Everybody has something that you can do really, really well, better than the rest, yeah. And you just need to pay attention.
Absolutely. Like, as you said, I completely agree with it. Like, this lockdown has come up with, we have started paying attention to the things that we never paid
Yeah,
attention to. And we never knew the talent is there in us, and that's how it's coming out.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So one more thing I wanted to ask was, for Vistage, one important goal is to increase the effectiveness of leader, right? So what are
Mhm.
focus areas and methods followed to achieve this?
Yeah, well, there are a couple of things. Let's say I wrote this down because I was thinking how to summarize this in a couple of minutes, not 1 hour. If not, this will be too much, because there's a lot of experience. Let's say it's let's say our method, which it has now more than 50 years now. Yeah, it was evolving since it was created. Let's say how we bring members together, how we discuss topics, and so on. Yeah, let's say the basis at the end is just to create an environment that people trust, that they know they can speak up, they can really confront the things, yeah, that they know they will bring them, yeah, or they will help them to move on, right? And I wrote my list of 7 core elements, yeah. I will go through this list because I don't want to miss any one of them, because I think this is the essence. And the first thing is challenging feedback and provocative confrontation. So Vistage really works because it creates this kind of environment where you know that here you will see and listen things that you usually don't see, don't listen. So here the members of the group speak up things that usually people don't like to listen. They confront you. So therefore, this challenging feedback means that we tell you what we really see. We tell you what we feel, yeah, and we push you in a provocative way until your limits. This is outside of your comfort zone. So that means that this just really offers you growth, yeah, when you're ready to enter into the zone. Then another thing is giving authentic support. So it's not only about challenging, it's not only about confronting, but it's also about giving support at the same time. Because imagine the CEOs that enter into a Vistage group, or entrepreneurs, yeah, they have many challenges. They have pressure all the day. Now imagine you enter into a group that additionally they push you more. So what will happen is they will close their barriers and will say, okay, that's it, that's enough. I cannot stay there any longer because it's more pressure. But if we challenge the members and at the same time we offer our support, then we have growth, because the person who gets that feedback is now understanding that that's not only challenge, that also is a solution. So therefore, in our groups, what we do is we always think about, okay, how can we support the CEOs that are expressing or sharing their problems? Yeah, not only telling them, look, what you're doing wrong, what is right or wrong, or what, or it's like not only giving this kind of feedback, is moving on to, okay, what you can do, or if I would be in your position, I can suggest you to do this or that. Yeah. So offer this kind of solution. Then we have powerful accountability. So that means that once you go through these meetings at this stage, yeah, we need that something happens. So we need action. So that means that after you have the group meetings every month, for example, we need that you put this information, this feedback, these insights into action. Yeah, and the link is accountability. But of course, it's not enough personal accountability. We need to push you further, yeah, and start to align this personal accountability also with other things, like what about your organization? What about other areas like your family, your friends? Yeah. So this is a kind of bringing, let's say, discussion into real life. So therefore, we need the link of accountability. And another thing is courageous goals. So we move away from models like SMART goals, for example. We don't like that, because SMART goals is like, okay, this is standard goals thinking or goals method planning or whatever you want to tell us, yeah, or call this. The point is that we need to push you in a direction where you get this kind of inspiration, yeah, where you start to see things from a different perspective. And this can only be if you see goals from a more courageous, yeah, where you can say, well, this is such a big dream, not a dream, a goal. I don't know how to get there, but this is not the question now. The question is, what is inside me? What is my potential, my inspiration, yeah? And define this as your goal, and then we will discuss about how you can get there, yeah. But many times when you do a SMART commitment, you start from the question, how can I get there? Yeah, you make it too real, too, let's say, from the present situation. And this is not really this kind of courageous goals. So what we have in our groups is this kind of discussion of, okay, what is achievable? Great. But what else is behind of this achievable goal? And these are the goals that we are looking for. Then another thing is the tension. So we like to create tension. We don't like this kind of cozy, group meetings where we discuss many things and we're friendly. No. We want to challenge people. We want to support them. And we want also to create a kind of tension that you have the feeling that, okay, it's a kind of balance. Yeah. So don't enter into the burnout feeling, let's say, or area where you start to have too much tension, but have enough tension that you feel a pressure to perform in a more high performance level, right? This is what we are looking for. And finally, system thinking. Yeah. So what we also don't do is to say, okay, in the Vistage group, once you enter as a CEO or entrepreneur and you have your monthly meetings where you can share your agenda and work this courageous goals and so on, it's like, okay, but you're inside of a system at the end. Which is the system? Sometimes it's just the company, your company, yeah, which is the system of your company. But besides this, there are many other systems. We can say this, okay, the society is another system. We have other systems like the family, the friends, and different, let's say, systems. What you do is connected with this system. So we always have in mind this big picture, yeah? So we don't always look like, okay, you have a goal, let's find out which is the best strategy or whatever, yeah? It's also, okay, once we do the strategy, what happens with the rest of the systems? So what happens with your life, with your family? Or if we do something on your personal agenda, how does this impact on your business? So when you do this all together, the power that is coming out, yeah, is that, okay, it's like, okay, I don't only know what to do, I also know how to do it, And this is the difference in Vistage. So our method is this, I wrote this down in one sentence, it's like, exactly, it's about active listening and powerful questioning in dialogues, yeah? Keeping all these core elements inside, yeah, of this dialogue.
Wow, that is so insightful. I mean, yes, like each and every point is like interlinked with each other. You're not just pushing them to the comfort zone, but you need to give them support. and
Exactly.
take it to the next level. Like it should be followed like stepwise, right?
Yeah. That's the point. So it's not like we go through a list, it's like in the same discussion, because these are really tough discussions when we have this kind of CEOs. He starts to open, first of all, his, let's say, standard agenda, the public agenda, and it's fine. Yeah. In these groups, we share them and so on. But what we do with all these elements is that we move on from this agenda to the hidden agenda, to the real agenda. And this hidden agenda is a mix of personal and professional agenda. And it's always not the end. We also move them further, and then we enter into this kind of courageous goals, where we enter more into which is your purpose, yeah, which is your potential, yeah, because many times also your hidden agenda is not really reflecting what you can achieve in your life, what you can achieve in your business. Just a kind of perspective that is influenced by many topics, and sometimes it's because you're tired, you don't have motivation, or you just compare yourself with other guys or other CEOs, and you think, okay, it's also good for me, so therefore this is my objective. And in this stage, we don't look like this. Yeah, we don't look at this in the same way. We say, okay, this can be a level, but we have many other levels on top of it, and we want to push you further into this levels. Yeah, and then suddenly you find out that you have an agenda, a new agenda. Then, when every morning you wake up and you go through this agenda, which has usually only 4 topics, not more, they give you such a power. They inspire in such a way, why I'm here. Why am I doing all the things that I'm doing? So this is what we do in this kind of courageous goals, what we discuss in our groups, and why Vistage members like these monthly meetings, yeah, and this kind of advisory boards we create, because they know here somebody will challenge me. Here they're talking about things that I know we need to talk, but I don't like,
Yes. Like as you said, we need to have a purpose. We need to have a purpose of the agendas, and that's how we'll
Yeah,
work. And also, as
exactly.
you said, having the asking the right question means a lot.
Exactly. This is the power of, or let's say, why we call this powerful questions.
Powerful.
It's not about long, complex questions. It's really short, simple questions.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for example, which is your part in the problem that you're presenting to the group? What are you doing? Yeah, from your side, that you have this problem in your organization or in sales or whatever. Yeah. So powerful questions means that you need to address things directly, honestly, and with courage. Yeah. But
Yes.
this is an art. I would say you need to learn it, to practice, to get experience, and see how people react. And I say always, when you do a powerful question, when you get silence as answer. Because then you're touching something that the other person is not prepared. It's something that okay, this is, or an area they are feeling uncomfortable, and they have now inside their inner dialogue, and something is there. Or like many CEOs, they have this muscle exercise, or they have kind of muscle to answer immediately to complex questions. But once they get a question that is really tough, this kind of powerful question, and they feel for the first time, oh, I have no answer really. There is no standard answer here. Then I know this is a good, powerful question. Then don't move away. Follow this path, and there is growth. There is, development. There is also, it's a tough moment, because you're moving outside of your comfort zone, and you need to decide, do you want to move outside or not? Many times the Vistage members decide to move on, to go outside of this comfort zone, because we support them. But there are always people that say, no, that's too much now. I'm not prepared. Okay, we can wait next time. But this is the kind of dynamic we were looking for,
Yes. It starts from active listening.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what would be the few things that would characterize the ideal employee culture for the organization to be to be on the winning side of the terms of growth?
Yeah. I would say, for me, growth we need to, let's say, define it better rather than just saying growth from the side of more sales or more market share. Yeah, I think there is a misunderstanding if we talk about how organizations need to, let's say, improve, develop. Growth means, when we look at it from the perspective of organization, there are two things for me. One is, it's like problem solving, the capacity, the commitment of problem solving. So you have an organization that is ready to confront daily problems, daily challenges. Yeah. So this is the kind of organization you need. And the other thing is creative thinking. Yeah. Creative solutions. It's like having an organization as a source. Yeah. Of ideas, of I don't know, of new products, of new services, whatever. Yeah. But I think this is what means growth for organization. Yeah. Because if we say organization is linked directly to your sales, well, it's true, you can do it. Yeah. But there is a danger, because for me, sales is like a sub-product of having an organization with these two elements. They are ready to move the extra mile when it comes, yeah, when you have the situation, yeah, the problems. And nowadays, what I see, that many companies know what to do. They know which is the product, which is the strategy. They know who are their customers. They know the competition really well. So at the end, we have a strategic plan. The problem is how you implement it. And the implementation is not only following the strategic plan or what says the strategic plan. It's more about, when you implement the strategic plan, you need to confront the problems. You need to solve problems on a daily basis. That means that you need to have an attitude. If you don't have this attitude, yeah, the strategy plan will not evolve. You will not develop the strategic plan. You will not implement it. And this is the main problem. When I work with my clients, many times they start asking me, okay, check with the management level, yeah, the strategic plan. Okay, we check the strategic plan. Always, yeah, it's fine, yeah, because they know their business, they know their market. This is fine. This is not the problem. But then the problem is really coming once they move on and they start to communicate it to the rest of the organization. And then you start to see that the percentage of implementation, if we come from 100%, goes down to sometimes 40, 30%. So the 70 or 60% of the strategic plan will never be implemented because of problems, unexpected scenarios, challenges that nobody thought about it, and so on. But this is not the problem. The problem is that you need to have an organization that needs to be ready. Ready means motivated. They need to have the know-how, the capacities, the power, everything to solve these problems that come up, the unexpected things. Therefore, one point is this kind of attitude, I would say. And the next thing is that you have in your organization a pool of ideas. And as a CEO, as top management, you need to be aware of, you need to ask your employees about what is happening. They see the customers, they speak with the customers, they see what competition is doing, yeah? And they're involved in this, let's say, front level. So you need to have this organization to take this as something important. This information is key, and know that they can push this information up in the organization. And somebody is listening, taking care of this information and translating this into, I don't know, another strategy, another action plan, whatever, an improvement. But this is for me really the power of organization. Yeah. And I think many times we forgot that management is not doing their job. Yeah. And the job is to listen what their people are seeing, are talking, are understanding, are identifying, and motivate them. Yeah, inspire them, as you said at the beginning. What inspires you? Absolutely, you need to know what inspires you. But this is just the beginning. Then you need to move on. That means that you need to give feedback, for example, and feed forward. Yeah, so you need to tell them what they're doing well, but also how can they improve. Other things is they need to understand the why we are doing things. So top management is deciding many things, yeah, but they just communicate probably 40% of all the things, yeah. But it's not about the information that is perhaps, you cannot tell this information because it's a confidential information that we cannot share with the rest of the organization. But I'm not talking about this. I'm talking more about like give explanations in an understandable way so that everybody knows in the organization, okay, we're doing this because of, or we're moving to this direction because of, or growth is coming because we are looking more for this or that. Yeah, this kind of conversation about the why. Yeah, we never do in the organizations, or we do, yeah, sometimes. Yeah, and I think there is a problem. So we have the feedback feed forward, the why, and another thing is the trust and transparency. So we like to say many times, yes, we create this trust based on our values. We say everything and we are open, but this is not important what the CEO or top management says. It's about go down into your organization and ask them if they have this feeling. Many times they will tell you, no, I don't have this feeling. I think I understand what CEOs are talking and thinking, yeah, but it's more a feeling. And this will never work. So therefore, again, if we come back to your question, it's about organization and growth. Yeah. So organization and growth for me is really important that top management, that CEOs, the managing director, for example, sees the organization as something that is a pool, yeah, of solutions, of creative ideas, and also the muscle of implementation. And once you have this in front of you, you need to decide which tools you need to move this on, yeah, to develop it. But for me, these are the 2 points. Once you understand organization like this, growth will come. Because for me, it's more a sub-product. It cannot be, let's say, a strategic objective to grow our sales. That's a strategic, not really. The objective must be more, I want to improve my organization, because if they are willing to fight, to go this extra mile, to solve every day any complaint that we have from any customer, okay, this gives a lot of power in the market. Then, if I see that also my people have this I trust them, and I authentically admire them, what they know, what they do, they will start to share with me insights that they are gold. And once I put this all together, suddenly my sales will grow. So it's just where the CEO puts the focus on. Do I put my focus on sales, on, let's say, business KPIs? Yeah. And then I react on the organization based on this? Or do I focus, first of all, on the organization to make this a high performing or peak performance team? And then I know once this is working, then let's look at the KPIs. And this is major, yeah, because suddenly you will see that the KPIs are growing unexpectedly more than you ever thought for possible. And if you work like this, so what I do with many coaches, also in business, what we do is to reshape this, yeah, the focus you have in business, how you feel about your business, how you transmit your pressure, yeah, because of the shareholders, because of the market, and you press this KPI thinking into your organization. So what we do is like, okay, we don't forget this. So let's put this beside for a moment and just focus on your organization. Like you have a child, you have a son or a daughter, and you can say, okay, I will, let's say, I will focus, yeah, on your development based on the grades you have on school. And that's it. So I will push you, do more homework, do more this, do more that, and so on. Because if I see that you're going down with your notes at school, yeah, I will be more intensive, yeah, in the training and in the teaching. But if I say, okay, now let's forget for a moment school, and now focus on you, yeah. So on my daughter, for example, and I look at her and see, how happy are you? How motivated are you when you start, yeah, your day? I'm asking her, for example, which is your agenda today? What makes you happy? What makes you, what inspires you, for example? What are the things that you don't like? Yeah. And how you organize the things. Or do you know from other, I don't know, friends, how they deal with their grades at school, with exams and so on? And now I'm focused on the person. Yeah. Then suddenly, I just, like a little bit like coaching, yeah, I offer her to reframe things, to structure better the problems and so on. And they found solutions. Then suddenly, if you keep this week after week, and then you look at the grades, there's again this magic, yeah? where suddenly you see, oh, the grades are improving. How can it be? And I never sit with her more hours going through topics of classes or whatever. Yeah. So I just put my time into this kind of her abilities, yeah, her capacities, her behaviors, yeah, and let her thought about it and listen, yeah, this active listening, and also a little bit this challenging question and provocative question. And then suddenly things change, because the same I expect also now from CEOs. Yeah, they see their organization that way. You can't forget KPIs, business KPIs. They are there, they are helpful, they guide you in a way. Yeah, but if they're the only thing, yeah, that let's say is the basis for guiding your organization, you'll have a problem. Because then what you will do is I push my team as much I can with my KPIs. And then what I do is I look for coaches, for trainers, yeah, to keep them motivated. Yeah, like giving a child sugar, yeah, or sweets, for example. This is not a real deal at the end. So, it's like, okay, I know I'm hard and so on, but now because I'm giving you sweet, yeah, I think that no, this is for you as a CEO, yeah, so that you're, let's say, yeah, that you stay calm, yeah, that you feel that, okay, I'm doing my job in a way, and no. It's about where is your focus, how you understand, or what do you see in your organization. And many times you don't see in your organization human beings, potential, resources. You just see a bunch of people. They are there. You pay them for do their job, yeah. And you can, or you are in this frame of being allowed to ask them, to push them. So if we keep this away, we are now entering into new zone of development, of really understanding an organization, yeah, which is people that, okay, they are there because they want the money, yeah. You pay a salary, they also share with you the vision of the company, the culture, and so on. That's fine, but okay, that's just the basis, yeah. So we need to not forget it, but okay, it's there. What else is there? And then we need to enter into the CEO understanding, yeah, of how the CEO understands what means their organization. And then suddenly, if a CEO is really humble, yeah, he enters into this zone of, okay, I need to reflect, like we had in this COVID-19 for the first time. So we had the time to think, where is the company going? I'm struggling. How can I find new solutions? Things like this, yeah. But there was also a point of thinking, oh, my people are also struggling, yeah, because they're at home with the kids, yeah. They're doing everything by online, yeah. It's like it's hard, yeah. They're doing the same amount of work, but now from home, and probably they are spending not only 8-9 hours per day, sometimes more, because they need to do it. Well, the work must be done at the end, yeah. And then you start to think, oh, these guys are really tough, yeah, and they work and they do and this. So perhaps it's the moment to ask them about, how is your family doing? When you wake up, which is your first thought? Imagine if a CEO starts to have this kind of dialogue with an organization. The organization is paying you back all this, because for the first time, they don't see, I'm here because of my salary. I'm here because if not, I will be unemployed. Yes, it's there, but we can forget it for a moment and move on. And I will only, if I'm a worker, I will only move if my CEO comes to me and asks me, you know what? I saw your work. I give you now feedback. And I want to know what you think about it. Different things, about clients, about operations, yeah, about the strategies there, about myself. If I see this from a CEO, for me, it's the first time I would say, you know what? I want to help. Yeah, I want to go this extra mile. And what happens when you as a worker do that? You always think, oh, this is for the organization. No. At the same time, externally, the clients are feeling this. So when we say, how can companies be so successful, yeah, or clients, yeah, they grade companies or they evaluate companies so positive, so good. Think about the people, yeah, how they feel. There's this connection, and if you move further, you can ask, which is the connection between the CEO or the top management level and the organization. So we always just focus on, we have a happy employer, we have a happy client. Yes, but there's further things, yeah. So there's another link that is between a happy employee is also connected with a happy CEO, you know? And this makes now a lot of sense. This is how we can really relate this growth at the end. But as I said, as a subproduct, really, as a subproduct, yeah.
That makes so much of sense. I mean, it's not about just knowing what your problem is, it's about having the attitude to solve it.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
attitude. It's
It's,
attitude at the end, yeah. It's
yes.
like, okay, I have a bad day. I will pay, or I will make pay my organization for this bad day. No, you cannot allow this. Yeah. Also, workers cannot do this. Yeah. So today, or I'm not getting the salary I expect, and so on. I you know, this is like a wheel or a cycle at the end. Yeah. So you start bad and you end in a disaster. So you cannot do this, yeah, at the end. So
True.
and growth is not an objective. It's a subproduct from all this process. Yeah. It's a subproduct because if you and I don't want only to say happy people, but committed people, you know, trustful people, yeah, with accountability, things like this, yeah, people that are focused on what they do and how they do it, yeah, and they put everything inside it and they're motivated and so on. Then suddenly, if you start to focus on these things, then you start to have a better, I don't know, service quality for customers. You have a better sales growth, whatever. You start to have these things. But many times we don't understand it, that this is, or these, all these things are subproducts in reality of having a great and strong organization.
Wow. That's really insightful. So, since a major percentage of the current workforce is in millennials, so what will be your take on, or, how relevant do you think is the phrase out with the old, in with the future with respect to work culture preference?
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point because I'm working with some companies where we have this kind of millennials inside, or working together with yes, with other generations. And I have many times CEOs asking me these questions: what can we do? What can we do? Or how must I deal with the situation? Yeah, because millennials are asking me for specific things that we are not really there. Yeah, and the let's say the key question at the end is the how can we um, develop ourselves to be more attractive for the talent we are looking for. Yeah. So behind of the questions of how can we deal with the generation like millennials now, yeah, if we have an old infrastructure or we have old processes or we have different generations, yeah, how can we deal at the end, the question that is behind is how can we keep our organization as attractive, yeah, or so attractive that we can, or we can still keep and yeah, keep talent. That's the key question at the end. So therefore, when a CEO comes to me and asks, okay, Daniel, I have millennials, they come here in the morning, it's a problem because they don't really fit in the organization. I see our values are not really aligned with them and things like this. And what I'm doing now, I'm offering them like sweets, yeah. Okay, now they go to the gym. Now they have this kind of flexibility, yeah, in when they can come, when they can leave, they can do home office, whatever. But it's like I'm doing many things just to keep them happy. And I say, okay. We need to move away of this, let's say, yeah, perspective, yeah, of trying to please millennials, yeah. We need to go deeper into this, let's say, conflict or challenge at the end, yeah. And here is a moment that a CEO or the top management needs to understand, okay, which is our culture, which are our values. And this is the DNA. It will not change. We cannot change it because this is history. This is what brings us to this situation right now, yeah, and will define our future. So we cannot change because of coming generations now, millennials and so on. What is working? What gives us strength? So what we need to do is ask us, is there something that we can develop in our culture, in our values? So is there something that is complementary, that we can see that we can evolve, we can move on and include new values? But I would never change the core, that is the DNA, which is at the end the culture of the company. You cannot do that. Yeah, if you are a company that don't like risk, yeah, they don't like innovation, they don't like it. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Because if this gives you strength, this gives you the positioning in the market and helps you to grow, yeah, okay, don't change it, yeah, because you want to have millennials. Perhaps what you need to think is create another company, do something different, but don't touch what works, yeah. So this is my advice to say, first of all, think about the culture. Do you have this kind, I would not say really change it, it's more let the culture evolve, include new values that can connect with the existing values. And see then if these new values can also connect with the millennials, with the upcoming generations. And this is for me the first question, the first change that must be done. Once you got it, yeah, then you need to move on, let's say, on the daily business, yeah, because you can have the values. This is the core, the frame. If you don't connect with this, okay, leave it, yeah, don't move on. But once you see, okay, yes, I can include some new values, we don't have it, and it makes sense to have them in our general culture. Perfect, move on. Next thing is, okay, but in the daily business, how can we live together, different generations? And here is a point that I suggest is to find a clear balance. A clear balance that means that take everything that works from the existing generations, from the history, yeah, but also take what works, what is good from the new generations, and put this together, create something new. And you can do this. This is something that we learned from the millennials that have this kind of easy understanding about new technologies. For them, technologies, devices, and so on, it's like they know about it. It's easy for them. Why cannot millennials teach the other generations? Help them to understand, make it more easy to work with these new devices or technologies. And so this brings them together. But also the other generations can, let's say, help millennials, for example, because there are many things that other generations did well. They know about patience, they know about what means well-developed strategy, that they also know about what means experience, things like this, and they can teach also. So for me, it's like to find a kind of neutral zone where all generations can connect. And the work of a company is to create this kind of zone, yeah, of let's say, a platform that is neutral in a way, where all generations can come together. And the point here is to find common things. And common things are, for example, everybody, it doesn't matter from which generation you are in a company because of what? This is a key question. Because of salary, because of the challenges you find, because of the development, because of the people, because of what? So define this platform based on these topics, yeah? And then promote these topics, yeah? Promote them by doing events, doing things that people engage into these topics. And you will see suddenly generations are coming together and they like to see different generations. And then also as a CEO or the top management, don't see this as a challenge. They see this more as a natural evolution of the company, of the business. Yeah. And this means many times that if we do things like this, looking this like an evolution, yeah, you take the good things from the past, so what really works well, and you take them into the future. Of course, you need to take many new things, like we have now this artificial intelligence, yeah, and many other things that are coming, yeah. And of course, you need to be open to all this. You cannot be closed and say, no, my systems, yeah, are working. They are old, but they're working, so I will stay with them 20 more years. It makes no sense. But in all this, old systems, old processes, there are probably many things, yeah, that you will also need for the future. Sometimes it will not be the technology, it can be the experience, perhaps. So these are the things that you need to really think about. Yeah. So there is no standard solution. It's more about a clear, open discussion. And clear, open discussion means that, okay, I need to adapt to the millennials, yes, because they want things and I need to offer them the things. If not, I am not an attractive company for them. That's fine. But where is the limit? Before I lose, yeah, my capacities, my power, my strength. But this is not about taking decisions. This is more about discussion, dialogue, open, understanding. Talking with millennials. Millennials are open. We know they push a lot now. They want this kind of speed careers. They want to enter a company, and the next year they want to be in another one because they move more for projects rather than career moves and so on. Okay, that's fine. That is also strength for companies. Yeah, having this kind of flow. It's a risk. Yeah, it's a weakness at the end, but it's also strength. So the dialogue must be: how can we use this situation for, let's say, develop the company, to evolve, yeah? Not to be into this kind of, what I see many times, also here in Spain, yeah? Is this kind of feeling like, oh, this is like homework. We need to do, and they speak, it's like the CEO talking with HR. We need to do something so that millennials feel happy here, yeah? Or we need to communicate to the market that we're doing this and this and this. It's more marketing than nothing. It's not really change, yeah? It's okay if you do that, yeah, it's fine, because you also need to communicate to the market, to millennials, and be attractive, yeah. But at the end, once a millennial is inside of the company, they will see, no, it's not that. So that's the wrong game, yeah. So you need to create something from inside and talk with the people and say, look, we are now having more and more millennials inside in our organization. What can we do to make them feel that they are part? How can we give them, and how can they give us? And it starts with a conversation, not with a CEO presentation, not with a motivational speech. Forget all that. This is like individuals conversation, group conversation, yeah, and start to take everything that is coming down to a kind of, I don't know, plan, or it can be like a process, yeah. But many times companies can do this by itself. They don't need coaches. They don't need consultants. It's just, come on, we need to talk about it. We need to share, yeah. We need to understand what the other generation is thinking and, well, wanting from us at the end, and start to discuss it, yeah. And at the end, you need to come to it's like a negotiation, yeah, to middle field. I think this is the way. This is the way how you can deal with it.
Wow, yeah, absolutely. You'll have to maintain a balance between, you cannot lose out the core values, as well as you'll have to make an environment for the millennials as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what, according to you, are the major risk factors could constrain the achievement of organizational goals in the short term, medium, and long term, especially in this trying times like pandemic?
Well, there's one thing. This is an advice I give always to CEOs. It's like you need to be honest, brutally honest. Yeah. So one thing that the organization is expecting from you, especially in a pandemic like this, yeah, it's that you don't start to change reality. It's better to know where we are, and if the reality is that, okay, we can close in next month, yeah. Okay, I like to know about this, yeah, rather than thinking about, yes, let's see next week, and if this changes or not. And this is fantasy, and people don't like to work in a fantasy, because if once they find out the reality, you as a CEO or as an organization, you're lost, because they will not trust you, or between each other, they will not trust it between them. So the point is, be brutally honest. Once you tell the organization where you are, what is really happening, then define with the organization a plan. So if you don't do this, you are at risk. That's for me the starting point. Yeah. If you don't have this, anything else you can say, oh, if the market is changing and the clients are closing and so on, it's another risk. Yes, of course, but this is market. So you need to be aware of, first of all, I need to be aligned with my team. They need to know exactly what I know. And we need to start to create this kind of trust that we know that, okay, if we do something, we are all in the same ship, yeah? And we're moving in the same direction, all right? So once you have this, another thing is to keep constant communication. If you don't communicate on a regular basis, you're also at risk. Because people, organization, at the end, if they don't get information yeah, from you as a CEO, they start to try to get information from other sources. And the other sources can be not so trustful, cannot tell you, well, perhaps they can tell you a part of the reality, not all the reality. So you create in your mind, I don't know, fantasies, yeah? So therefore, you need to clean this, yeah? And you need to communicate regularly. It can be on a daily basis, it can be on a weekly basis, but you need to communicate on a regular basis. If you don't have this, again, you're at risk, yeah? Because people get nervous in a pandemic or in a crisis, and now the economic crisis that is coming, it's also pushing this into this limit zone again. And you need to fix this in a way to say, okay, guys, yeah, I know many people, news and or fake news and this and that, yeah, we are confused. There's many information now saying many different things, but what I know, what I see is this. And on a regular basis, update this vision, update this understanding, and push it. And then, of course, the next thing is ask the organization what they think about it. So if you just push on one side, you have the problem that you don't know what they think. You can think, okay, I'm doing my homework. I help people to really get all this information. But this is not communication. Communication is two sides. So you need to ask them, fine, now, what are you thinking about? Do you struggle with all this, what we are sharing here? Yeah. Or how do you perceive the situation? Many times you will be surprised that people will start to say, no, you know what, it's a tough situation, but I think we can move on. We will achieve it at the end. Wow. You need to ask these things to understand. There are a couple of people, they are struggling, they have problems. I need to focus there, perhaps a little bit more information or in a different way. But there are a bunch of people here, oh, they're tough, they're really strong, and they will support me. So I need to know this. This is why I said communication, yeah, from both sides. Other risk is it's coming more from the side of, I would say, of this kind of transparency, of not giving feedback, yeah, of not focusing on, I would say, emotions, yeah. Sometimes it's like, okay, if we don't speak about emotions, it's like we don't have emotions. Emotions are there, always, yeah. And sometimes organizations are not ready to understand that because now we are at home in the lockdown, yeah, they say, okay, it's easy, people are, let's say, they're more calm at their home and so on, and they are not really emotions, yeah. They're nervous, but that's it. No, probably more emotions, yeah. So you need to speak up. You need to bring this, yeah, into, I would say, into a channel so that people understand, okay, top management is understanding this is a special situation. So we need to really react in a different way. But there's also a channel where we can show these emotions. And this is not a channel where it's about, how do I say this? It's like discussing and chit chat and things like this, you know, it's not about this. Yeah. It's like sharing real emotions, not going into this kind of depression and making everything bad and just seeing bad scenarios. It's more about talking in a more realistic way about how people are feeling, yeah, and understanding why you are feeling like that. But keeping the discussion there, not going deeper, and then seeing the world is, okay, it's an Armageddon, yeah? We will disappear, the world is ending, that's it. No. It's not about this complaining, yeah? It's about like, be open, be transparent. Let's share what we are feeling, yeah? But keep this, yeah, in I don't know, in a clean way or in a natural way, yeah? Without going into this complaining zone, yeah? Where we just start complaining because we like complaining. No. We don't enter into this, yeah? So if we don't do this, which are, let's say, healthy behaviors, you can get into risk. Because once you have this under control, you need to look the other things that you have under control. And this means you need to take care of processes, strategies that worked well, yeah, and still are working. Focus on this, yeah. Don't lose yourself in other things, yeah. So if you don't do this kind, I call this with my clients, I always say, this is homework. This is homework. You need to do this, yeah. And this is basic things of crisis management. Nothing new. The only new thing is that we are losing the red line of understanding what can I control, what can I not control. Yeah, and get confused. And I think I can control the market. I can control my clients. Well, not really. Yeah, what you can control is your organization. What you say, what you think, how you react. Yeah, how you deal with your emotions. So take this as your main goal during the day. And as I said before, with this kind of organization and the growth. Yeah, if you focus on growth, you will lose the focus on the organization. It's the same. If you lose the focus on yourself, on your organization, yeah, it's more. We start with the soft skills. That's the beginning, yeah. But then we can move more to the hard skills. And if we understand that, if we don't forget our soft skills, our what we think, our internal dialogue, things like this, we cannot move to the next level, which is strategy, operations, yeah, systems, because this will not really work. It will work because we have a pressure, because of the crisis. We have this feeling of intensity and pressure, and the human being is able to react. Yeah. Also, if he's feeling bad, if he's feeling weak, he can react. He has this ability, but this is not optimal. This is not high performing. Yeah. And what we're looking now is really to get into this high performing, let's say, level, because you can keep this level for a long time. Because the main, let's say, risk that I see in what is coming now, if we look this as an economic crisis, is that we don't know how long this crisis will be. We know that we will have a crisis, yeah. So sectors will be punished, yeah. Companies will close, people will lose will be unemployed, and so on. So we know that, and it can be a really big issue, yeah. But for me, companies need to know, so how long will be this situation? If this is 1 year, okay, I need to have a plan how to keep my organization strong and in this high performing level for 1 year. But if I don't know if it's 1 year or 5 years, then I have a big trouble, because perhaps I can keep my team 1 year strong. But what is coming in the second year, in the third year, if the market is still not, developing or achieving the same level as a couple of years before, then I have a problem, because it's like I'm working in a level of intensity and weakness, yeah, that does not allow me to be flexible, to be able to, okay, stay for 1, 2, 3, 4 years in a crisis, yeah, and once it's over, I'm growing again, yeah. So therefore, the big risk is that we enter into a zone of reaction. We react based on the pressure we get from the market, and we push more hours, more, let's say, more work, yeah, more things, but we don't really work the core. That is, okay, pressure is coming, but first of all, I must do my homework. Do we communicate in a transparent way? So this, be brutally honest, yeah? Are we planning in this kind of radical way about, come on, let's go for solutions, real solutions, yeah? And then move on emotions, yeah? How we are feeling, how we are communicating. Is this really a team, or is this just a bunch of people, and because of the salary, because of they are scared to be unemployed, they're here, yeah, doing like they're working, but they're not really committed? Well, first of all, solve all this, because this creates such a power and muscle for a long-term vision. Once you got it, okay, move on. Now we go to what can you control in strategy, in systems, in operations, yeah, in customers, suppliers, and then move on this level. But then you know that the organization is also coming with you with a lot of power. And then if this stays for 1, 2 years, you are prepared, because you have muscle, yeah? You have still power inside of your organization, and you can further develop it. But you're not pushing the people to their limits and then asking them to stay in this position for a long term. This is the burnout strategy, yeah? This is a poor, mentality, attitude from a CEO, from top management to see, again, organization. I just focus on growth. Oh, market is going down, yeah? My sales are going down. I need to push again sales. So what I do is I look at KPIs, so clients, products, prices, and so on. Just focus on this. So make more pressure on what? Marketing. Make more pressure on what? Negotiation. Make more pressure on what? Product quality, whatever. And I forget completely my organization. Okay, you can do it. Focus on the strategies because these are short-term impact strategies. You need to do it, right? But at the same time, come on, guys, because these strategies, they will work for a short, medium term, not long term. So I need to, on parallel, develop my organization to be able to get, let's say, resources or things that can help me to further, push the market, to further think about marketing strategies, sales strategies. If I'm not doing this and I'm focused in my crisis mode, on I need an immediate solution, I need an immediate improvement. Yes, you can do it, but this is not where your focus must be, or only your focus. You must put this also on the organization.
Absolutely. Honesty is the key. That's where it starts from, right? Like everyone should know where they are working and like what is coming their way. They should be aware of it. So
Right. Yeah.
as we spoke about communication, so in this time of remote working, what would be your tips to maintain communication and collaboration within the team?
This is another thing or another topic I'm working with my clients right now, because there was the understanding that we had to translate current business to home. Yeah, we're not really thinking about changing processes and so on. We're just changing processes that were involved with IT. Yeah. So what they thought is we do business as usual. Yeah, but we do it just now from home, and this is the change. Yeah, and this can work for the first 2 months of the lockdown because you have the pressure of the market and everybody's in the same situation, and it works. Yeah. But now, if you move on in the lockdown, or now, if in the post-lockdown, when now we can now go again to the streets, we can now again, have this normal life. You see that this was not the real solution. There is another kind of communication you need to have if you work from home. Yeah, which is, first of all, you need to create new standards of communication, because you are losing the, let's say, the human contact, the face-to-face, yeah? And sometimes we are not aware of how much the face-to-face contact, impacts on our behavior, on how we define things, how we solve things, how we move in the organization, yeah? And there is something that we need to compensate now, which is how can we create the sensation, because at the end it's really a sensation that you have that I'm not losing connection with the organization, with the other guys, yeah, from my team or with clients and so on. So how can I still keep this human element inside of the communication? Yeah. So what you need to do right now is to really push a kind of, okay, we have Zoom, we have all these platforms that help us to have the video calls, and this is fine. But this is just to control that the person that is on the other side, yeah, is in a way paying attention, but nothing else. Yeah, you don't really, you can see the face, if it's smiling, not smiling. If you can have this feeling, yeah. But on the long term, you're losing connection, really, yeah. Because what you need is really to understand, oh wait, this person, when I have it really in front of me, the energy, yeah, my connection with, again, emotion, feelings, behaviors, and this will get, we will lose all this, yeah, in all this, home offices and virtual meetings and so on. So what we need to have is find moments, I would say, not say during the day, but during the week, that we can come again together. And the challenge is how we can do this in a virtual way. And what I offer always when I work with teams, and it's not my solution, it's more what they define as solution. It's like, why we don't create online events as we did in the past when we were all in the office and we have, I don't know, happy hour events, for example. Every Friday evening, we have this happy hour, yeah? Nobody says that we can't have a happy hour virtual, yeah? It's like, this is only an event, it is virtual, but we will not talk about business. We will talk about ourselves. We will make jokes. We will, I don't know, whatever it makes sense for them to keep this, this atmosphere, yeah, of connection. And it's also a point of not only what you do, it's also a point of how you do. Yeah. So there are a couple of things that you need to take care when you have this kind of conversations online, for example. Yeah. So the first thing is I need to see you. Yeah. So this means that keep your desk clean and just the camera or the computer in front of you, and it's like have the same behavior as you would have in a face-to-face situation. Because the other person will see and suddenly, oh, okay, it's a screen, but in a way I'm connected because he's paying attention if his eyes are really looking into my eyes in a way, yeah? And if you keep a little bit like this kind of rules, yeah, or guidelines, you will see that suddenly this online conference or meeting develops into something different rather than the standard online conference that everybody's looking, but they're just paying attention if you're there, not who is there. How are you reacting, you know? And these are the things that now must come, yeah? So one thing is the communication itself, and the other things is the processes, yeah? Because in the normal way, yeah, or in the face-to-face world, it's like you can be much more faster in your communication because you get many other inputs rather than just the voice, yeah? Because you see how he behaves, how his, you know, the mimics he has, a couple of things, yeah, that is also information for you and helps you to communicate better. So therefore, there are things that we need now to change. It's like take processes now and see if, or not only see, analyze, yeah, what needs to be changed, yeah, so that you have the same quality, the same impact. So don't think that because you don't have the people sitting now in a meeting room together, you have them online, it's the same. The process will be the same. Not really. You need to incorporate additional things. Like, for example, once you have this virtual meeting, yeah, what do you need to make sure that everybody understood the messages? Now, everybody understood what to do and so on. In the face-to-face world, probably you would ask at the end of the meeting, or you raise your hand and said, everybody understood what we will do in the next weeks and so on. So you perhaps you don't get this confirmation. Okay, this is online. People are getting the information, but you don't know really how they get this information. So perhaps in my process, probably more in the communication process, I need to put something, yeah, that really, I don't know, make sure that everybody understands what we're talking about, or I can make a better follow-up and so on. Yeah. So therefore, I would say we moved from the real world to the online world. It worked, yeah, because it helped many managers, yeah, to see this not as a problem, more like an opportunity to improve and to motivate people. But now it's like because people or workers are now understanding this, that we want to keep this, we want to stay at home, we like to work from home, yeah. Of course, we will come back to the offices, but perhaps from 5 days per week, we will come back only 2 days, yeah. So there will come some efficiency, yeah, and effectiveness. So we need to incorporate all this, yeah, into the communication. We need to incorporate all this into this virtual, yeah, change that is coming, yeah. It's not only about solving a crisis, yeah, which I think many companies did pretty well, yeah. It's more like, okay, what did we learn, and what can we now do with all this, yeah? Because it's really an opportunity. It's an opportunity not only because of the efficiency and the productivity we gain, yeah. It's also because we are entering into a change of mind. Especially here in Spain, what I saw is that, yeah, we were not ready for this change. Yeah, it's like, yes, working from home is fine and so, but we like to see our workers in the office. We want to see them here. Yeah, because in our mind was this belief, yeah, that if you don't see people working, they're not working. So once this is destroyed, and you see, oh, people are working at home and they're productive or more productive than here in the office. That's a good change. So it's not about just keeping this, let them be at home, let this stay at home. No. How can we push them further and change our processes, change our, not business model, but change things so that we stay with this improvement of productivity, but make this, as I always say, make this professional. Yeah. make this really that is sustainable on the long term, not just something good for the workers. They can now they don't need to commute to travel in the morning or lose 1 hour, because of the traffic from home to the workplace. No, this is fine. This is an additional motivation. It's just what or how can we develop further processes? I would say also quality, efficiency, and I think in this direction we will probably move.
Wow, yeah, that's really insightful. So to wrap this interview up, like, do you have any sound bites to give to our audience?
Well, I would say what is coming now. We say in Europe or in Spain also that we will confront a huge economic crisis that is coming now, and what we need is a lot of trust. So if I speak more from the side of the CEOs, of top management, it's not only trust in the organization, it's also trust about yourself, that there is much more than you think inside of you. And that means that to bring this out, you need to be challenged. You need to confront things. And for me, there are 3 values. I would say that we need to focus. First value is to be honest. Honest means that, okay, don't live in a fantasy world. Don't be so hard with yourself that you don't give yourself the opportunity, to be weak sometimes, to understand you don't think, and you need to learn. So enter into this level. Another thing is discipline. We need discipline right now, a lot of discipline, meaning that once we are confronted with things and we see that there are solutions that we need to implement and we need to go through it, have the discipline, to attack it, to confront it really. And this will help you, It's not a discipline that we see. CEO has discipline. It's not about this kind of discipline. It's not about doing the homework. It's the discipline of staying constant. Doing things in a constant way. Because then you will see the changes. And the last one for me is courage. Courage is one of the values that I would say, if you don't have this nowadays, you're not really moving outside of the comfort zone. Courage means for me not this kind of alpha male power position and say, let's go against the enemy and fight for Margaret and so on. This is motivational speech. It has no impact. It's for me, it's losing the time. We're not looking for motivational speakers. Motivational speakers is nothing for me, because this just, they pump you up. They make you, it's just, it's like follow you in one direction, and once they leave, you fell down, because they don't give you nothing really. They just give you hot air, as we say here in Spain. So courage means that you feel that you're weak, you don't like it. It's something that you struggle, but you find something inside you, that pushes you to fight against it, to solve it. And something like have courage to say to shareholders, to say, I know you're pushing me with benefits, with a better sales number, whatever, I know that, but I have the courage now to say, this is not now my focus, I will try to make my best, of course, to fulfill these KPIs, but my focus right now in this crisis is the people. Have this kind of courage, for example, And here's not the courage of an alpha male. Here's the courage of saying, I must be aligned with my values. I must be aligned with myself as a human being. If I am a worker under me, I would like to see somebody on top of me that is not having here motivational speak. It's like it's humble, coming down and asking me, how do you feel? How do you see things? What can I do to make your life easier, to make your work better? This is what I need. This is kind of courage we really need on this level of CEOs, of top management. And the problem is that we see that the crisis, the pressure, all this makes us forget all this standard basic things. And we need to come back again. So therefore, have courage to enter again into this, conversations.
Wow, that's really amazing. I mean, this is really helpful. Thank
Really,
you
yeah.
so much. Thank you so much, Daniel. It was an amazing, enriching learning experience for me, and I'm sure it's going to be the same for our viewers as well.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.